My head was still spinning from the hangover when Mr. Ando dropped the bombshell. Are we married? Married? Me? Kunel? He showed me the marriage certificate, irrefutable proof that in my drunken state we had gone to the registry office. Couldn't I accept it? Isn't a marriage decided by a few too many drinks? It all started with an unexpected phrase. Ando said, "Let's stay married," just like that, as if we were talking about staying for one more coffee. How calm is this man, I thought, because I honestly hadn't confirmed anything yet. Married, him and I? What kind of epic misunderstanding was this? "Is Mao your wife?" I asked. He looked at me seriously. "Go to the registry and you'll find out," he said. Impossible. Absurd. My head was boiling. How can anyone dismiss marriage as a drunken joke? But Ando wasn't fazed. He had that steady gaze. "She told me she'd wait for me. We'll be close," she said. She gave me her number and left. As I tried to understand what was happening, I remembered Azuma, always so radiant. "Tonight's performance was a success," she said. I could only feign enthusiasm. How could I tell him I couldn't join him, that I'd fallen into a love triangle I hadn't even asked for? Amid forgotten gifts and shared memories, I noticed something. Azuma remained attentive, even as I myself began to blur my emotions. And then Takashima. "What do you have to do with Koshiba?" he asked. What did I have to do with myself? I didn't even know. Everything was chaos. Ando reappeared. "We're already married," he insisted. Did he really expect me to believe that? The worst part was that something inside me was beginning to doubt and to remember small things, a meal, a conversation, a comfortable silence. In that moment, just eating with you was already happy, I thought as we shared a plate. My world shrank and expanded around those simple gestures. Then came the most absurd yet real moment of all. He asked me to marry him. Really? With rules, fines for not calling each other by our first names, mandatory dinners. This was either a declaration of love or a business contract. And yet, I listened. I listened to everything. Between back and forth with Azuma, postponed dinners, open gifts, and unspoken words, Ando was still there, persistent, stubborn, and perhaps sincere. "I can't marry someone I don't like," I told him. And that was true. But what I didn't tell him was that I no longer knew who I liked or what I wanted. Everyone seemed to have plans for me, even fate. Part of me wanted to run away. Another wanted to stay a little longer in that restaurant sharing a bowl of ramen, because before, just with that, I was already happy. In a year, if I can't fall in love with director Ando, I repeat to myself silently, "Please like me, like me, like me." And if love doesn't come, and if it's already here, disguised as confusion, pride, fear, I don't know. But this is my story, and it's only just begun. I was surprised that he knew I liked Japanese food. He asked me why I didn't drink. I told him I rarely did, except in special situations. He slyly hinted that I only drank in front of him. How embarrassing. During dinner, Ando-san, or rather Ando-san, told me about his work. I realized how brilliant he was. It made me feel good that he valued me so much. He offered to cook for me. I was surprised because no one had done that for me in a long time. I remembered the lunches I made for Asuma, how he always ate them with a smile, even though he would add soy sauce afterwards because they lacked flavor. I felt ashamed of my lack of self-confidence in cooking. Ando-san told me that cooking was his only hobby. He asked me to cook for him sometime. I refused, saying that my cooking skills were modest, just home-cooked food. He, however, insisted that cooking for someone you care about is a pleasure. Ando-san, with a seriousness that took me by surprise, brought up the subject of marriage again. He said, "I think it's right for you and me to get married." I told him I didn't want to get married, that there was no chance. He replied that he had already sent the reports to the company. I told him the whole story, the rumor about Asuma, my drunkenness, the accidental marriage. He understood, but insisted that even if it was an accident, it was a marriage. He suggested I set some rules. First, that we start dating, getting to know each other. Second, that we would use first names when we were alone. And if I didn't, there would be a fine. A fine? It seemed absurd to me. Meanwhile, at the office, Ando-san met Miss Yui Takashima and invited her to dinner to talk about work. Watching the interaction, I couldn't help but feel a knot in my stomach. My heart felt torn. On one side, Asuma, the love of 3 years who seemed to be faltering. On the other, Ando-san, my new accidental marriage, a man who respected me and offered me a new opportunity. I knew my life would be complicated from now on, but I had to find a way to face this new reality.